Hello, David Bradley from the Pet Room here. But what I'm here to talk about today is nothing to do with pets or cats or dogs or anything else. It has to do with. Oh, there's Penny. Hello, Penny. That's not Penny. Penny. It has to do with Tim Hortons. Um, Firstly, they have an app and it gives you like rewards and all that, and it gives you specials. But I don't know why they discriminate against people who don't drink coffee and tea. If they put up a special that says you can get one of their farmer's bacon wrap things for a certain price with a, wait for it, tea or coffee. And if you go and say, hey, could I swap that for a hot chocolate? They say, oh, no, you can't do that. I've written to them many times about this, and they still keep discriminating against we who do not thrive on tea and coffee, but think hot chocolate is pretty okay. Actually, I'm surprised they don't even let you swap for water, really. Or, some facility for something, not just tea and coffee. And it's funny, I have nothing against tea and coffee. My grandfather was a tea and coffee blender. And what does that mean? Or a taster. For 75 years, he worked in the industry, and the job of a tea and coffee blender, taster, is to make sure that every morning when you brew up your tea, that it tastes the same, even though growing conditions in different parts of the world change slightly, and teas, based on the growing conditions, can taste a little different. Because most every, like orange pico tea, is not one tea, it's a blend of teas. So, depending on how each individual part of the blend is, you may need to add a little more to get the taste to be consistent, or a little more, a little less. It's always this tweaking, and I guess the idea is every time a big shipment comes in, then that would be. Um, I would expect they would know, of course, when this stuff was grown and when it was harvested and all that stuff. So then individual tasting goes on, and da 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 da. So anyway, not because nothing to do with him being a tea and coffee blender, but I've just never developed a taste for it. But hot chocolate is pretty fine. Now, of course, the real ultimate loser in all this is not me, because do I really need to go to Tim Hortons to get anything? No, not really. I really don't. But it would be nice to at least have the option, if I'm coming home from a movie set or something or other, to go and look at my app and say, oh, look, they've got a great special there. I can get, I don't know, some Timbits with a hot chocolate in my exhaustion. This might be good. But instead, I have to look at it and say, yes, you can get tea or coffee, but you can't get what you want. It kind of actually reminds me of another place called Chit where they're like, it used to be really great. You go in, you can print things, you can pay, you can do whatever. Now it's like, oh, we only accept credit cards. Chit by the way, lets you ship things. Um, they basically have contracts with people, and you can ship things. And the biggest advantage is if you're doing things that are media, or I guess books and things, you can take advantage of the American rate if you're shipping to the States. So, because we don't have a book rate in Canada, so it can be mighty good. But still, I do not understand companies that make it more difficult and more restrictive for you to do business with them. I don't understand. If I had some endeavor on the go, I would accept most any way there is. Anyway, um, yes, why put barriers in the fact that people want to spend money with you? But I digress. Let me tell you about Tim Hortons. I was in a drive-thru the other day, and I was looking to get 3 combos. And as I said, I don't go there very often. Why don't I go there very often? Because, well, their specials usually don't let me feel very special. So I get in the drive-thru, figure out the three combos. So there should be 3 drinks, 3 breakfasty sandwiches, and 3 hash browns. So they hand me the drinks, and I struggle them in and put them on the dash and spill a little coffee. Not for me. I don't drink coffee. And then they hand me this bag and say, okay, there you go. And of course, there's people backed up and it's crazy and it's busy. And I'm like, oh, all right. But for some reason, the bag didn't look impressively full enough to be bright. Like it just didn't look. Anyway, but we carried on and we were just going to go not very far from there and sit and eat. And when we pulled everything out, um, the thing I ordered, which was the bacon farmer's wrap or the farmer's bacon wrap or whatever, it wasn't there. And 2 of the hash browns were not there. So we got basically we should have had 6 things in the bag, and there were 3. So I phoned back to the Tim Hortons, and the lady seemed somewhat understanding, but she kept saying, "Well, I don't see your order on the screen here." So like it was 10 minutes ago, and I don't know how long they can look back. It doesn't matter to me. I know what it said on my screen on their screen, and I know that it had been there had been 3 combos listed there, and listing all that they had, and there was the final total price, which was 25 something, and I tapped and paid them the 25 whatever, and didn't get it anyway. So she said, "Okay, come back, come back." Anyway, so I went back, and of course I didn't go through the drive-thru. I went in, and there were these 2 nice fellows who were in a little ahead of me, and they were kind of looking and said, "If you know what you want, you go ahead." I said, "Oh, I know what I want. Unfortunately, I've already ordered, and it was mistaken. So I'm here to correct it." And they said, "Oh." So they kind of watched. So I went and I told the lady, "Hi, I'm the guy who called." And then she handed me a bag and said, "Okay, there you go." And I looked in the bag because I should double check the bag. And guess what? It wasn't all there. The bacon thing was there. The hash brown was there, but not another one. I said, "There's only 1 hash brown." She said, "Well, you only paid for 3." I said, "Yeah, but we only got 1. I swear. I swear. This is exactly what I said." And she looked at me with some level of disgust and disdain, and then with some reluctance grabbed one of these hash browns that probably cost them as much as a dime, that they charge $1.99 for, who knows what with the combo, and put it in there and kind of indignantly thrust the bag at me. And I said, "Thank you." And the 2 fellows who were watching all this, who were waiting to do their order, kind of looked at me, and I looked at them, and I said, "Check the bag." Anyway, this did not leave me with a remarkable warmth towards this now multinational corporation. It did not. Um, and what it really comes down to is, as I've said before, customer service. I was surprised in some ways that, first of all, I was surprised that the second bag was a mistake. I'm surprised they didn't actually say, "You know what, we're going to throw in an extra hash brown." Or is there something, would you like something else? Because it obviously screwed up. Now, my mistake was, and this was all, kind of like "Oh my God, there's people lined up. Don't cause us trouble." Don't, whatever. But when they first handed me the bag, I just thought, this just doesn't feel right. But I was like, okay, there's a pile up. We don't want to, people are trying to get to work. Don't delay them. It's probably fine. And it wasn't. Anyway, when I go to, and I rarely do this, but if I do go to, say, any drive-through, especially McDonald's, um, and the order that we get there is not terribly exotic, but it's not exactly normal, I check it. Or I ask them, "Are you sure? Please don't make me come back. Please don't make me come back." And then sometimes they will double check and make sure that everything is as it should be. So, anyway, it was that kind of that, "Oh my God, the neighbors are behind us in their car. There's all kinds of them piled up waiting to get do their sacred Tim Horton thing and head off to work, so don't check the bag, it'll be fine. And it wasn't fine. And it was irksome, to say the least. And so, needless to say, I have less and less reason to go to Tim Hortons. If they were to change their specials that actually did not discriminate against wee hot chocolate drinkers, I might be more tempted. But after this whole bag thing and just the way, like, she didn't come out and say, I don't think it's true. But, when I was on the phone, I looked on your order. I can't see your order here. I can't, you know what? There's the old story I heard somewhere online that they figure that if you buy a head of lettuce at a store and then you look at it afterwards or you cut it open and you say, this is, bad. And you go back and try and exchange it. If they give you a hard time about the lettuce rather than just saying, okay, here, you pick another one, away you go, that lettuce, that one head of lettuce, which in the old days probably cost 99 cents, and now it could be, depending on the time of year, like $5. That lettuce, if they give you a hard time and rough you up and hey, well, you should, whatever. If they don't just be friendly, be nice, and handle it well, in other words, give you good customer service, that lettuce can cost them $10,000 in sales because you are then likely to go and tell your neighbors about, yes, I was at Mr. Green Snappy Suspender Grocer Store and this is what happened. And that story spreads. And of course, now that we have all this social media, it could spread and spread and spread. For example, someone could sit in front of their phone and record a video and say, yes, they gave me a hard time about my lettuce at Mr. Green Snappy Garden grocery store or whatever. Now, that's never happened to me. I've never had to return lettuce. I look carefully and, it's all fine. But still, if I did, I would like them to say, oh, okay, cool, fine, dandy, and not diddle around. Um, it's funny, there are some people who think in their feeding frenzy of buying, like there's a store in Canada, and I think it's other places too, called Dollarama. But there's just many signs all over the place. Final sale, no refunds, no returns. In other words, make sure you get what you got, get what you want, check it over, and don't be coming back and saying, oh, I'd like to return this, or they don't do it. But some people, in their feeding frenzy of retail therapy, forget about this, and then they get something and say, why'd you get that? Oh, it's okay, I can just return it. And of course, they go back to Dollarama and they say, no, all sales final. That means make sure you get what you want. And it's not that they're unfriendly in the whole process or anything else. Generally, they're quite fine. But it's very clear all over the store. All sales final. Like, actually, right now, I'm recording on this springy thing that I got that I really don't like. But I have found a location on a shelf that I can kind of make use of it. And now that I have my replacement microphones, I think it's not going to be too bad. But it certainly isn't the wondrous thing that I thought it would be. And I won't get another one. Whereas I did get, a while ago, I got another little tripod thing that stands on a desk. It's pretty good. I would get another one. And also, there was I don't know where I put it, the big LED light pack thing. And it can hang, and it can stand, and it also has a magnet. And of course, not afraid, I'm careful around the computers with the magnet. But inside a metal pet, it's quite wonderful. You can stick it up underneath the monitor on the case, and it will sit there, and it will rest there, and it will throw the light down, and it's good for recording, but it's also just good to see with. And if you don't want to put it there, you can hang it on there. It's a wonderful light. I would get another one. I would. This thing here that I'm using now, I don't really like it. but I have found a way to make it somewhat useful. But it's not nearly as good as what I thought it would be. But I have adapted and found a way. Anyway, as for Tim Hortons, I don't go there often, and chances are it will even be less often. Will I delete the app? Probably not, because during hockey season, they have a thing there where you can pick who you think goal scorers in hockey games will be, and you get some of their wonderful points that it takes a while to accumulate much of anything, but still you can accumulate points, and then you can use the points to get the odd thing. And as it happens, hello, Penny, don't be jumping up on things. Yes, Penny, I hear you. I can pick you up if you like. Penny? Penny? Do you want to be picked up? Oh, Penny. Okay, Penny. Oh, Penny! Hello! Anyway, not every day, because we don't remember. There's Penny. Hello, Penny. Oh, yes. It's very rare that Penny comes and we just have a quiet moment. Because generally, Penny doesn't like this, and I'm sure you can see the look on her face. It's basically like, no, help me, get me out of here. Anyway, because it irks me of their hot chocolate discrimination, and certainly after this last episode, I don't mind doing this thing that hello, Penny. Okay, nice to see you. Come again. I don't mind doing this thing on the app that I can get these points for, and then once in a while I can drive into the drive-thru, order one hash brown, flash my phone, and then have them say, "Oh, it's free." So I will keep doing that, I suspect. It's not hockey season now, so we can't do anything about it now. But next year, we'll keep doing this. So, in other words, will I take their free hash browns? Yes. Will I go for their specials that do not cater to my tastes? No. And will I go back to the particular Tim Hortons that screwed up the order and then really it just left me with a bad taste? Everything. Not the food, but just the way I was treated left me with a bad taste. Will I go back there? Well, no, I don't think so. And you know what? Now, when I'm in the drive-thru at whatever Tim Hortons, before I drive away, I will check the bag. And I don't care how many people are behind me. I will make sure that it's all there. Also, you know what? Um, the one up where I was that I got this, they did not provide me with a receipt. So I had no proof. And this is irksome. And also, like if I was, and say I was, uh, having to collect receipts for business purposes or whatever, no receipt. Bugs me. Right, Penny? Bugs me. So, beware. And yes, as they say, buyer beware. You get what you pay for. Well, not always, because if you go to Tim Hortons, maybe they won't put the right stuff in the bag, or they won't put it in the bag at all. And then they'll smile and say, there you go, as you take this paper bag that's obviously not got enough stuff in it. Thankfully, I wasn't driving immediately off into the distance where maybe it was at one of those halfway on one side of the highway, like rest stops, where it'd be a major kerfuffle to go back. That would have irked me tremendously because I was hungry. And out of the things that I ordered for me, none of it was there. None of it. No, sorry. The hot chocolate was there. But everything else was not there. Anyway, at the drive-thru, check the bag, ask for a receipt, and if something irks you enough or leaves a bad taste in your mouth, make a video, stick it online. I'll stick this up. Who knows? Maybe someone from Tim Hortons will see it and say, "Oh my God, we better do something. Maybe we should offer hot chocolate instead of just tea and coffee with our specials," even though I've written to them. And sometimes when I write to them, I just say, "Another week where your specials are not at all special. Let me get it with hot chocolate." That's all. It's not asking for much. And I don't know what the hot chocolate costs them compared to the tea and coffee, or if they just want to pump up their tea and coffee sales. I don't know. But still, it's as a wise man once told me long ago, he was a member of the Toronto Pet Users Group. Um, it's my money until I give it to them. And really, I have less and less reason to give them anything except to flash the app and take their free hash brown. So thanks, Tim Hortons. Thanks for, I like your heartwarming Canadian ads about reunited families and hockey things and Sidney Crosby and people meeting up years later and all this stuff. It's all great. Get on your customer service your customers, or they won't be your customers. And you may think, oh, well, what's one person matter? Remember the head of lettuce I told you about? $10,000 just because of bad customer service. And who knows how many people will see this video of mine? I'll share it. Maybe I'll even send it to some news outlets. Now I know it's too long, but they can always grab a clip out of it, or maybe they'll come and talk to me and say, so tell us about your bad experience. Tell us how they won't let you get hot chocolate. Tell us a story. Who knows? Who cares? Anyway, thanks for being here. Hope you have a good experience at wherever you buy things from. But you know what? Check the bag. Get a receipt. Don't be afraid to talk to the manager, and for God's sake, just because the drive-thru is full, which really means, you know what? They should have more capacity on the drive-thru. It shouldn't be just one window with one little old lady saying, "Here's your bag. Come again." Because more, I've seen places where the drive-thru is piled up, and I think, my golly, they like so much it's causing traffic jams that they should find a way to double their capacity. I've seen places that have two lines, and that means it doesn't maybe go out into the street. They need more people. Service the customers. If it's fast food, it should be fast. And if it's fast food, it should be accurate. And that's about all I have to say about that. So, signing off from the pet room, David Bradley. Bye for now.